Yo, peace and wellness, family. It's Supreme Wellbeing reporting to you live right now. I wanted to share something that's going to be very valuable to you, I think, in us going through this process as entrepreneurs together. I just wanted to share some things that I have come to realize on this path of entrepreneurship, and also with us manifesting, developing our own vision instead of building somebody else's. I think that it's very important that we support each other and we share our process as we go along on this path. But it's not just any path I wanted to talk about. It's the path of the spiritual path, the spiritual journey, and how entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey. Before I get started, I wanted to also say that if anybody feels as though they're alone on this journey, if they feel as though they're losing people, that they're not going out as much, or people seem just to be disappearing in their lives, don't feel bad, because a lot of the times this is just because you need room to grow. You need room to grow into what it is that you see with that vision that's becoming more clear and clearer every day as you move towards knocking down these goals, and as you move more into your entrepreneurship, and you start to discover new things about yourself. So don't feel bad about that. And this is another reason why I wanted to start doing these illustrations and get more into digital products, because we need this support from each other. Okay, so let's get into it. Peace and wellness, family. Yo, so how is entrepreneurship a spiritual journey? Or if some of y'all can really relate to this as being a spiritual journey, and while you're on it, we need to enjoy the process, and we need to understand that embracing the process is only going to make us better business owners. As they say, for some people, in the first 5 years, your business doesn't make profit. Honestly, that doesn't apply to everybody. But for the people, and sometimes in cases it does apply to people. But this is not to focus. This lesson is not to focus on income, and it's not to focus on materialistic things that we initially think that we're going to getting into entrepreneurship. Of course, we got bills to pay. Of course, we have families to take care of. But we also have to understand that we are the ones who attract the money. We are the asset, and we are ultimately trying to add value to ourselves. Okay? While the most important thing, servicing other people. And this is why I wanted to do this lesson, so we can get more into the mindset. The mindset on, not just the mindset, I'm sorry, so we can get into the spiritual journey of entrepreneurship. But the mindset is a big, major, important thing that we have to get right when we're going into this, in the mindset of self-belief and knowing exactly who it is you want to service, how you want to service them, and how you're going to go about doing it. So the mindset of the independent, the self-sufficient, to say, you know what, I'm going to do this for myself. I believe in myself, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to reprogram my mind, really my subconscious mind, and say, I'm going to do for self. I'm going to do for self. And people say, well, what does that mean, do for self? Well, I'm going to make a way to make my own paycheck. I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to be the creator of my own reality, so that I don't have to trade time for money. See, to me, it's a difference between somebody who says, I'm going to go out and get an LLC, than somebody that says, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. See, the difference is, to me, is when somebody says that they're going to go get an LLC, to me, that's somebody who might have had a side hustle and they're trying to take it more seriously. And probably still want to work a part-time or full-time job while they're getting their LLC situated and their business situated. An entrepreneur, to me, whether it's a serial entrepreneur or somebody who just labels themselves as an entrepreneur, they don't want to trade any more of their time to anybody, to building anybody else's vision. They have made a commitment in their mind, to say, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to roll the dice on myself, and I'm going to bet on myself, and I'm going to self-invest, and I'm going to do what it takes for me to produce and be my own boss. Okay? So on this divine path, in this divine journey, we have to understand that embodying our business deeply determines the success of our business. Okay? We have to be very intentional. We have to be very intentional when we're building our business, and when we're into entrepreneurship. We have to be intentional about our social media. We have to be intentional about our brand. We have to embody this with a deep physiology, to the point where every day we're living this. Even practicing integration, getting the kids involved, getting the family involved in some type of way. Embodiment determines the success of your business. This is a big, significant key point here when you're going into entrepreneurship, especially when you're establishing authority and you want people to take you serious. You can't be on your platforms one day talking about how, talking about what your aunt and your uncle did at the cookout, rolling up a J, drinking a couple shots, throwing some shots back with your peoples on your. Listen, nobody's gonna take you serious. Okay, this is just real. This is why I say this why entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey, because you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision, and you have to go deep inside your innermost self to make changes and reprogram yourself to know, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what it takes to actually build a company. It takes changes within myself, not just the want to earn money. It's deeper than the want to earn money. Okay, so cause most of us have an initial thought of earning money. That's how I feel. Make the product or service and make money, right? That's what we initially think. Make the product or service and make money. That's what we initially think, right? But it's really deeper than that. It's really deeper than that. And once we start thinking about how intentional it is that we want to be in our business, we'll start understanding that the money we are attracting the money. We are attracting the money by adding value to our business and ourselves at the same time. Okay, we are attracting the money. So if you're coming into entrepreneurship just thinking about money in totality, then that's not longevity. That's not longevity. Let me explain to you why. So if you want longevity in this business, if you want longevity in working for yourself, you have to understand that when you come into the why of why are you making your product or service, this is going to determine if it's going to be a lucrative business or if you're going to last. Is the why. Why are you creating a product or service to get into business and entrepreneurship? What's your why? Because if your only why is to make money, then probably this ain't going to be for you. Because your why is more of, so are you in this to service? Are you in this to help and service other people? When I say service other people, I mean this is you finding your purpose. You're the best version of yourself when you're helping others. So you're finding a service to serve our product to help other people, not just to make money, but also because you want to uplift humanity and you want to make a difference, right? And you want to impact people's lives, right? You want to impact people's lives. Now, I learned this in the ABS tribe. Now, ABS tribe, they preach passive impact over passive income. Passive impact over passive income. Because if you can impact somebody with your product or service, they'll never forget you. People will never forget how they feel, and they'll come back, which turns you into an asset. So now, when people talk about, oh yeah, I'm chasing the bag, I'm chasing the money, and you sitting back like, you know what, bro, that's good for you, because I ain't even got to chase no money. The money come chasing and looking for me. Why? Because you added so much value to yourself. And establish that authority. Right? Establishing authority and adding value, this right here is what is going to take your business to the next level. Because as long as your product or service is packed with value and people can get results and you can impact their lives, you ain't going to have to worry about no money. You ain't going to have to worry about no money. That at this point, you're attracting money by the value that you're adding to yourself, making yourself an asset, right? And impacting people's lives. And then you're establishing authority by taking it seriously, by embodying your brand and business every single day. Your business is like your baby. You got to clothe it, support it, nourish it every single day. It's like being a parent. It's no days off, right? It's like being an in-home parent. That's how you establish your authority, right? Okay, so if we know that this is our whys, because I want to impact people's lives, I want to service people, and I want to add value to myself and enjoy the process, because I know being an entrepreneur is ultimately going to make me a better person. How is it going to make me a better person? This goes back to the spiritual journey. How is it going to make me a better person? Well, we're adding value to myself and establishing authority. What am I going to do? I'm going to find out more things about myself that I never even knew. I'm going to find out more things about myself that I never even knew. I'm going to bring out skills within myself. I'm going to bring skills in myself, out of myself, that I never even knew that I had. Unknown skills, right? But they really were known, but they were buried deep into your subconscious mind because you were so robotic on that corporate plantation when you was working for somebody else, developing skills on their time that you could have been using to build your own business. But see, you wasn't thinking like that then. But that's fine. That's cool. We'll get into that. So you start bringing out unknown skills to your conscious mind that you didn't know that you had out of yourself. So you start surprising yourself. You start surprising yourself with these skills that you didn't even know that you had that was within you. So these skills start building self-confidence. Self-confidence. The skills that you never even knew that you had, you start learning things about yourself that you never even knew. And the skills that you didn't know that you had buried deep inside your subconscious mind, you start pulling them out to build your business. Right? You start pulling them out of yourself to build your business. So this builds a different type of self-confidence within yourself to say, hey, you know what? I can do this. I'm finding out new things about myself that I never even knew. On top of the fact, I can use these skills to do for myself and to build my own business up. And just to think, I was doing this the whole time for somebody else, developing their vision and building their corporation, enslaving on their corporate plantation. Now, let's talk about it. This is why we have to understand that entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey, right? So you find your purpose in impacting lives and servicing other people. Now, on the spiritual side of things, for my people, for my Bible thumpers, who's familiar with Prophet Jonah? Prophet Jonah tried to run from what God had put on his life. The will that God has on your life, you can't run from it. So Prophet Jonah, pardon me, I'm getting some water. It's getting hot up in here. We about to get into it. So Prophet Jonah tried to run, got caught up with the Lord. He was on a boat. Got caught up. People on the boat, a storm started. People on the boat knew something was wrong. They casted lots and said, oh, nah, it's this guy right here. He's the one that's causing trouble. Let's throw him off of the boat. Threw him off of the boat. Threw Jonah off of the boat. The story goes, a whale swallowed Jonah and spit him up in the exact place where God had willed him to go in the first place, to go speak to these people that he didn't want to speak to, but it was already on his life for his purpose. His purpose was to serve. His purpose was to serve. His purpose was to serve others. He was trying to deny it. See, this is why this is very important that we understand this is a spiritual journey, because you ever been on that job and you feel like everybody is looking at you like you're not supposed to be there? See, there's a reason for that. Because you just like Jonah. Going against God's will for your life. Sometimes we don't realize it. Sometimes, it takes us a while to catch on to the signs, to know that we're actually a boss. This entrepreneur shit is not for everybody. Okay? That's why God called prophets and messengers. Because this is not for everybody. Right? This is not for everybody. So Jonah, he goes to the land, this as the story goes, and he preaches the sermon. And so he realized, I can't run from the purpose and the will of God, the purpose that God has on my life and the will that God has on my life. I can't run from it. So we can't run from it. So the best thing for us to do is to connect to it. Connect to our vision. Connect to our vision. Right? Because the will and the power of God is already on us as entrepreneurs, because we have a purpose to fulfill. We have a service to fulfill, and the people need this service from us. Right? But in order to bring this service out at 100%, to do it the correct way, we have to be able to understand that the skills and the embodiment, we have to embody our purpose in our business in order for the skills to come out, and in order for us to find out the things about us that we don't even know. See, in the self-belief of entrepreneurship, when you start to develop this strong sense of self-confidence, go deep inside your innermost self. You're going to go deep inside your creative visualization, and you're going to go deep inside your subconscious mind to start reprogramming yourself, to start understanding and getting closer to supernaturalism and unlocking your divine self. And you're going to say, I didn't even know I was capable of some of these things that I've shown myself that I'm capable of being an entrepreneur. And this is where the spiritual journey comes in, because like Professor Griff said when I went to go see him speak, he said, I'm going to go on a spiritual journey. And he went to go walking on this spiritual journey long enough to say, he turned around and say, he realized that when he turned around, he looked at it, he looked back and seen himself. Right? The Prophet Muhammad said, to know thyself is to know thy Lord. Psalms 82:6, ye are gods. You understand what I'm saying? This whole thing of entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey that we have to understand, that we have to bring and draw out of ourselves in order to create these products, to be 100% in product development, to have these ideas, have the time to bring out these ideas, to understand that we are here to impact people's lives. That's our main goal, to help them to our fullest extent, to service people on a whole nother level, to do deep incantations, to embody, to know that you are a healer, a helper, a servicer. This is what you put on this earth to be, connecting with your vision, not going against your purpose. And yeah, it's going to be lonely. It's going to be lonely. Just like any other spirit, just like any spiritual journey. That's a personal relationship between you and your Lord. Nobody else can answer for you, and nobody else can strengthen that relationship but you. Okay, let's continue. So as we continue to impact people's lives, right? Turning ourselves into an asset. Shout out to the ABS tribe. We impacting people's lives. We're challenging ourselves. We're challenging ourselves on a daily basis. Success is a daily thing, right? So we're challenging ourselves on a daily basis to bring out the best in ourselves, the best of what we didn't even, what we never even knew, right? We never even knew what the best of ourselves was until we got into entrepreneurship. Okay? Listen to me now. So there's a doctor. His name is Dr. Samuel Cockright. Right? Dr. Samuel Cockright. Pause. He went on medical record to say in 1851 that any runaway slave was diagnosed. Let's put this up here. Was diagnosed Drapertomia. I think I'm pronouncing that. Drapertomia. I'm pronouncing that right. Let me slaughter that. Drapetomania. Drapetomania. Anyway, drapetomania, pardon me, y'all. Drapetomania was a medical diagnosis by Dr. Samuel that any runaway slave had drapetomania if he wanted to be free. This is in 1851. 1851. Drapetomania by Dr. Samuel made that a medical term from slaves that wanted to be free from the plantation. Fast forward to today, the corporate plantation. Corporate plantation. Right? So we decide we don't want to trade no more time for money building somebody else's vision, right? So now, but the times done changed now. Now it's to the point where it ain't white racist doctors that's diagnosing us with these type of crazy diagnosis for wanting to be free and liberate ourselves. And that's another part of the spiritual journey, is the freedom and the liberation that you feel with being an entrepreneur. It's not all about the money. It's not all the time in the materialistic things. It's the freedom and the liberation. You know what I'm saying? So on the corporate plantation, but nowadays, now it's not the white racist that's looking at you crazy. It's your coworkers and your family and the people that look like you. Like, you gonna just leave all that money on the table? You just gonna leave a steady check? You just gonna leave this old plantation like that? Well, Master Plan is good here. Just gave us a 25 cent, 50 cent raise, and you just gonna leave that? So you go off and you be a runaway be a runaway? Be a runaway freedman. You go off and you be a runaway freedman. And as soon as you get off that corporate plantation, the less and less you start feeling like a robot, and the more you start feeling like the free person that you're supposed to be in your birthright. Right? See, slavery ain't went nowhere, it just evolved. That's all it did. And then evolved right down that corporate plantation right there. See, some of us is unplugged out the matrix to know that we need to go on this spiritual journey in order to become a free person. In order to become a free person, we got to get off this plantation and become and get off this corn. And honestly, if you look at it, it's funny how the psychological change follow from a white racist diagnosis in the medical field all the way into today. But the mind state of the psychological change of black people now on the corporate plantation is the same way on the plantation back during chattel slavery. When you leaving off a corporate plantation, they looking at you like you're crazy when you get off of there and won't even support you, won't even support your business. We got to go out and find totally new people, new peers, to support what it is that we got going on, even when they see us impacting other people's lives, even when they see us making a change and changing within ourselves. We got to go get a whole new tribe and a whole new team. But what we have to understand is on this spiritual journey of entrepreneurship, it's not for their vision to have. Okay? It's not their vision to have. This is our vision. This is our vision that we have to embody to succeed, that we have to impact lives, that we have to understand that people are dependent on us. So within doing this and within y'all watching this video with me and us going through the process together with creative value, understanding that we're trying to create a product packed with so much value that people can't resist but to buy it. Hold up, let's write that down. Oh look, all right, Dr. Sim, you out of here now. Dr. Sam, you're out of here now. Let's get into this creative value. Creative value. Creative value that you find on this spiritual journey. Creative value trying to create a product packed with so much value, people can't resist but to buy it. You know, I heard a very wealthy man say one day, his name is Ty Lopez. I never forget it. He said, I could tell how wealthy a person is. He could tell he said, I can tell how wealthy a person is going to be by, guess. I can tell how wealthy a person is going to be by how creative they are. A very wealthy person named Ty Lopez said that. Okay. So your creative value. Us as entrepreneurs right now on this journey, we're trying to create a product packed with so much value, people can't resist but to buy it. Right? So within trying to create a product packed with so much value that people can't resist to buy it, we're right here. We're in this phase of product development. We're in a stage of product development, of finding that value within a product, but also finding that value within ourselves and that self-belief and seeing, okay, what is the best way I can help people with my brand and my business and impact their lives in an innovative way, in a way that it grabs them and impacts them in a way, and it might even incite indirect triggers. Indirect triggers. What I mean by that, and what I mean by indirect triggers in business. Indirect triggers is, okay, well, when you think about cookies, you automatically think about milk. Or when you think about s'mores, you automatically think about marshmallows. So when somebody says s'mores, the indirect trigger is marshmallows, right? So we're constantly on this journey. We're constantly in a stage. We're in a stage of product development and and creating a product with so much value that people can't resist to buy it. But within this product development, we're also trying to get into people's minds to where when they see something in the store on their everyday daily lives, they relate it back to our product and how we service and what we do for people. Okay? So that's an indirect trigger.